Put your hands together and welcome to the stage, the Energy Phoenix herself, Kristen Brown.
I always relied on energy and energy hacks. Energy hacks are things you can do to instantly turn the light on inside of you. When you're stressed, when you're overloaded, when you're overwhelmed, when you're burnt out at work. These energy hacks, there's thousands of them. We customize which ones we do for your group. But these energy hacks instantly work and we do them in the room for these 7 energy centers. So the first energy is vision energy. Vision energy is saying, here's what I want and here's why. It's your purpose, it's your passion. Next is strategy energy. Strategy energy is saying, here's what I want. Now I need to create the plan to make it happen, the resources, the tools, the people. Once you have those 2 clear, then you have to turn on your communication energy, and that's saying, okay, I gotta tell the world about this so that I can actually make this thing happen. Then it's relationship energy, and that's making sure you surround yourself with the people that are gonna lift you up, but also creating boundaries around the energy vampires. They're the people that trigger you, that take you down, and they exist in your workplaces and in your own families. So you wanna be sure you have really good tools for your relationship energy. Then we have your confidence energy, and that's saying, I am so freaking good at this thing, I'm gonna turn on my confidence energy so I can make my vision and strategy real. It's your superpowers. Then it's creativity energy. Creativity energy is saying, you know what, I wanna have some fun, because being an adult, very serious business. To-do list, checklist, bills to pay, kids to raise. Wait, let me just release that pressure valve sometimes, and that is by turning on your creativity energy with passion and fun and laughter every single day. Finally, we have your motivation energy. It's the hardest one. It's the one that you're really putting pedal to the metal. You're kicking yourself in the butt. I know you are all here in this room to level up, right? You're here to level up. Every one of you, all around this auditorium, are here to show up as your best self. But you know, when it comes to sales, it can be tricky, because Sales 101 teaches you that you need to sell the benefits of your product and service. Sales 201 says, well, let's tap into their emotions, get them to want to buy what we're selling. But I'm gonna invite you to consider that next level. And that next level is to tap into your 7 key sales energy centers. That's a mouthful, right? But I want you to think about it this way. Your 7 key sales energy centers will create absolute magic when you're attracting and magnetizing people to what you're selling. And when you know the 7 energy centers, you also can help your customer activate them so that they want what you're selling even before you put it in front of them. And that, my friends, that is selling magic. And that is what we're going to tap into today.
Stress release expert and author of The Happy Hour Effect, Kristen Brown. Hey, Kristen.
Hey, Kristen.
Hello.
Good to see you. How are you? I'm great. All right. Thank you, Kristen. So go to our website for all these sleep tips. Tomorrow, Jennifer Goodwin, also Nas performed. We're going to bed, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Let go of all of the multiple personalities you juggled throughout the day, interacting with different people, and you just kind of settle into you. Because you're a little different with your kids, you're a little different with customers, you're a little different with coworkers, you're a little different with strangers in the grocery store line. And that's cool, we need to be. We need to have that flexibility so that we can interact with people on different levels. But when you can step back and really be your most authentic you, aligned with your goals, with your purpose, all of those things that you hear about, that is really when you're going to feel your best, when your mood is going to be boosted, and when all of that is in alignment and all of that is showing up for you, you are going to be seen more positively by others, you're going to be seen as a stronger leader, you're going to be able to walk into your shop and really make more of an impact and have more influence because of that awesome energy that you're putting out. Your team is directly impacting whether ideas come to life or not. They're impacting whether a plan or a project happens on time. They're impacting whether someone gets hired or not. If someone comes into a company to interview and someone puts out the wrong vibe that's interviewing them, that might have been the best talent that they could have hired, but that talent isn't going to want to be there if it's the wrong vibe. So all along the spectrum, whether you're an individual contributor or whether you're a senior leader, C-suite, your body language, the cues that you put out, and the command that you have when you walk into a room, both positive or negative, will impact that bottom line in a bigger way. Again, it's a soft skill with hard impact. Our bodies and minds were in a constant stress response, which means that shut down our ability to take on new tasks, to think critically, because we were in that fight or flight mode where we were just trying to get through each day. So turning your vision energy back on, being able to see the future is really critical, especially when you're taking on new technology, implementing new things. So during the break, what I want you to do is find one person and just tell them, what do you see Web3 doing at your organization 1 year from today and 5 years from today? Just get that vision energy going, a little bit of conversation so that you can take what Dale and John just shared and really think about it in realistic terms for your role and your organization. So see you back in 15 minutes. Burnout is much more than being overworked and underinspired. It's a literal burning out of your body at the cellular level. It is the stress response on steroids that has gone on way too long. And when that happens, it kills your decision-making skills. It makes you crabby more often. It closes your body language. It changes your happy resting face to bitchy resting face. And it kills your immunity, your health, and generally just makes you less excited about your day-to-day life, whether you're going to work where you're burnt out or you're burnt out by the routines of home and the things going on personally. But I want to talk to you about one thing that you can do that's so powerful when it comes to burnout. Now, how many of you, show of hands, have ever been burnt out in here? Yeah, pretty much everyone, right? We know those feelings. We know how dark our worlds can get when burnout sets in. Now, another question for you, show of hands. When you are burnt out, does your screen time go up? Yes? No. Pretty much everyone's a yes. Because we are in a state of burnout that actually drives us to numb ourselves. And oftentimes, screen time is paired with more drinking, more sitting around, eating not as well as normal, not moving and exercising as much. So it's like this really ugly domino effect that starts a wave of things that really aren't going to be good for us in the long term, even if we think we're only burnt out for a short time. So I have a little tip and trick for you that will instantly, and I mean instant, change your energy from stressed and burnt out to uplifted and energized. And that is to flip from screen time to...
We're not always going to be having positive. I'm not a good vibes only person. We have bad vibes days. So based on where you're at, you can still be productive and figure out where you are energetically. So if you're feeling off, low, do things like returning emails, sorting laundry, meal planning, not meal prepping, because that's high energy, but meal planning. You can write down what you need to do. When you're feeling high energy, you're excited, you've got a lot of internal physical energy, then do those things that require that extra oomph of action. Okay.
So it's a little bit of just like a checklist of just sorting your day's responsibilities and obligations into kind of like those two categories.
Yes.
So like, okay, all this stuff has to get done, but in the moments I'm feeling high energy and motivated, I can do these, and then the low energy ones can go in this column.
Exactly. It's really about self-awareness.
People have the power to lift you up or take you down. There's research that backs this up, that if you're hanging out with Debbie Downers, you're going to become a Debbie Downer. Even if you don't mean to, you just are by naturally absorbing the energy and the efforts of the group. If you're hanging out with go-getters, people that are rising up the ladder, people that are helping other people grow, you're going to do the same thing. So you really have to make sure that you're hanging out with those people that lift you up, that fill you up, that encourage you to be better. Maybe you are doing the right things. Maybe you're putting out the right energy. Maybe you're being a great person. Maybe you're being a great leader. Maybe you're empowering people and you're doing all the right things on your to-do list. In that case, yep, I'm acknowledging that I got it. I'm doing the right things. I'm where I need to be on the spectrum of awesome. I gotta stay the course. If you are not, though, and you do need to course correct, then you give yourself a check in there and you say, okay, here's what I need to do instead. I have been snappy with my team. I have not had lunch and I need to go eat something. I need to force myself even though I don't have time. I need to go for a quick walk around the block. I need to do something on my to-do list that's burning at my brain and I've just been, it's sucking all my energy. So you acknowledge what your next steps are. Wash your hands, walk back to your desk, and then you take action. And you redirect what you were doing and you get back on track to that right end of the spectrum of awesome, what you want to have happen to get you closer to the goals that you intended to have happen. Okay, so we have talked about the 7 key leadership energy centers today. But in my opinion, the fastest way to have impact and influence as a leader is to turn on and turn up your relationship energy. Because this energy will instantly, and I mean instantly, create more trust, it will create more engagement with your team, it'll reduce their stress, and they'll just like you more, right? You just want your team to like you and respect you and open up their minds to the ideas that you're trying to move the company forward with, right? And relationship energy will do it instantly. Now, I like to say, when you're trying to amp up your relationship energy, that you should be a light and not a shadow. Be a light, not a shadow. But how do you do that in today's world when, oh my gosh, we're so stressed, we're burnt out, we're trying to work from home, we're dealing with kids that are going through distance learning, all the things that are inside of us need to be pushed down in order so we can turn on our light for others. And it's hard to do that sometimes. But let me give you an example of a master class in being a light and not a shadow. So I already told you my story earlier about being widowed 14 years ago. I had a new baby, I was in a VP level leadership role working in corporate America. And just a couple weeks after my husband died, I went back to work because I needed an anchor, like something that was steady, something that I knew what to expect to kind of escape the grief just for a little while. But little did I know that going back to work would actually amplify that grief in a whole different way. So at the time, I was managing the biggest retail account for my market research company that was based in New York. How many emotions can you experience in even a single day? A lot, right? It is a roller coaster ride. And those emotions are all made up of different ratios of neurotransmitters, chemicals, things that change the way our body is behaving. So if you have stress, we've heard about stress, right? You know, there's adrenaline, there's cortisol, there's all kinds of different chemicals that create that fight, flight, or freeze response in our bodies. Those chemicals are the same chemicals we feel when we're excited, but in different ratios. So it would be way less cortisol, a little bit more adrenaline. We'll actually throw in a little endorphins here. We'll throw in a little oxytocin. When you're happy, same chemicals, different ratios. Less cortisol, less adrenaline, a whole lot more dopamine. So every emotion you feel is different ratios of these chemicals in your body.